Hey guys, Will Terry here, and I got a new video for you. I'm going to be doing an update on my Pickleball Paul children's book sales on this video, and I'm also going to tease my next project that is well underway, and I can finally talk about it. And yeah, so let's get into it. As you may have noticed, I've taken a hiatus from YouTube because I don't like to make videos unless I really feel like I have something of value to really share with you guys. And my last video, I don't know if a lot of it, you were probably thrown off by that. I did a Bitcoin video. You know, this channel it's primarily, yes, it's an illustration channel, but I share things that I'm into. And some people really found value in that. It didn't get anywhere near the views that I was hoping it would get, but hey, not everybody's into Bitcoin that's into illustration. So anyway, first I'm going to jump into the Pickleball Paul stats, so let's take a look at those. If you've been following my series on making a children's book called Pickleball Paul and the sequel, Pickleball Paul and the Missing Paddle, these are the stats. If you haven't watched this video series, you might want to go back and check that out. I kind of did a graph that I had started showing you guys along the way of you know, the being in the red down here, all of my expenses leading into this, starting at $17,000 in the hole and working my way in the first month with sales up to $9,000 in the negative, and then kind of crawling back up only to print a second book and be $14,000 down. And then what you guys haven't seen are some of these later months, because I stopped kind of updating this because the project just wasn't going as I had hoped. I really am looking for these huge home runs, and this one just didn't become that. But then I am in the black. I'm $14,000 and $14,578 in the black right now. I have Bill, who is my sales guy, who's still selling and goes to tournaments every week and sells the books, and so I don't have much to do with it. What I am looking for now at this stage in my life, I'm 58. I'm not looking for a sales job. I'm not looking for a project that I have to work on to make, you know, a few $1,000s a month or something like that. I'm really looking for big, huge, you know, $50,000 net gain, plus, you know, and on up from there, where I can really, you know, beef up my retirement portfolio, and, you know, invest in different other things. And that's really the kind of money I'm looking for. If I were starting out and if I was trying to make extra money each month, I would be working on Pickleball Paul still. Okay. And I think that's an important thing to talk about, because I'm making anywhere from $400 to $800 a month right now on Pickleball Paul passively. I'm not doing anything, and my sales guy is bringing me that money, and that's my money. He's also making himself $400 to $800 a month selling these, amongst other things that he sells at pickleball tournaments. I did want to show you guys this graphic right here, and this is actually a graphic that I made for our self-publishing pro class at svslearn.com, and it's a full-on class on teaching people how to be successful self-publishing their projects. And these are basically a slide in one of the lessons in that class of how I've assessed my projects over the years, from failures to fair to fabulous. And you know, I judge things as being fabulous as if they make a really good chunk of money for a really small amount of work. And obviously fair, we just talked about Pickleball Paul. Yeah, I'm up $14,000, but I've had to do a lot of work to get there. And if I could have seen from the very beginning how much work it would take to make $14,000 on Pickleball Paul, I wouldn't have done it. It was really fun, and I'm really glad that I did do it. I love the fact that people, you know, I play pickleball every day, and I love the fact that people in the community are always asking me for books, and I still sell books, and I probably will sell books for years. These are still some of the books behind me. This is, you can see if you've seen those early videos, the stack of books was really high, and now it's working its way down. And but for the amount of money that I made, I could spend that same time and make a lot more money doing other projects. So I wrote that down as fair. But it wasn't a failure. I spent on these Gary's Place and Gary's Worms. Those were apps for the iPad, and I spent so much time on those and didn't make a dime. In fact, I lost a lot of money on those. I've talked about them before on the channel. I don't want to go into it. I worked a long time on this side-scrolling video game called Super Stick, and it was an indie game. There was a team of about 5 or 6 of us, and boy, I wanted that one to do well, and we just never got it off the ground for reasons. I Hate Reading was my first failed Kickstarter, and the complete Kickstarter playbook. I really just didn't put the time, effort, and love into that project to really make a lot of money on it. I think it's a good checklist. I think it's a solid book, but I didn't do my due diligence on marketing. And then I've had my fabulous books, or successes. SVSLearn.com, The Rabbit, is, that project is making, it's doing really well. It's done really well for me. And of course, my little heroes and these little ebooks, and then What They Don't Teach in Art School was a Kickstarter that did really, really well. And so now I think that's all I want to update you on with Pickleball Paul. I'm not going to be making more updates on that. I'm just considering the project has kind of run its course. One of the big reasons why it didn't do as well as I think it really could have, and still could have and should have. One, I don't have anybody doing wholesale sales, which I could do, but I don't want to. It's not fun for me. I don't want to be a salesperson. I don't want to get lists of all the paddle shops in the U.S. and all the indie bookstores in the U.S. and try to sell them these books. I think a lot of them would buy them. We sell to about 10 different paddle shops right now that still reorder from us, but it's just not my idea of fun. So work could be done there. But the bigger reason why it didn't do well is there's a major paddle manufacturer, retailer, that has bought all the rights to all the sales at all the pickleball tournaments. And this is probably TMI for a lot of you guys, but basically they've locked down all the sales at the big national tournaments, which we were really counting on getting in, and they decided not to carry my book. So that pretty much kind of killed this project, because the tournaments that my sales guy goes to, there's 400 to 600 people there. At the nationals, there's thousands of people there. And I think that we just would have sold a ton of books at those, and not just nationals, but all the big tournaments, the pro tournaments around the country that are going on year round. So I just think that once, we had a few people there interested, and it just didn't fly. And in the end, they turned us down. So that kind of killed the project. So with that, I think that I'm up to date on everything here. Again, I just really want to reiterate that Pickleball Paul, if I needed to make another 500,000, 2,000 a month, I would be making those calls. I would be doing the sales, and pushing it and trying to figure out other ways to sell it to children's camps and stuff. But it's a lot of work, and so I don't want to do that work. So my next project that I'm going to unveil to you right now is called Wicked Christmas. And where did it go? There it is. This is actually an ad running on Facebook right now. We're just getting past the test stage for this, and it's a card game, and people are commenting on it and pre-ordering. And I am going to basically do the same thing with this project and bring you guys along and share stats and share like my marketing plan and everything, and how things are going on this in future upcoming videos. And I hope to be able to inspire some of you guys to do your own self-publishing projects and to use some of the strategies that I'm using. I am working on this with one of our SVS students. His name is Anthony Beneke, and I think I talked about him before on this YouTube channel, but or on our 3 Point Perspective podcast. I can't remember. But anyway, he was a guy who, when I was, he took our classes at SVS. He's trying to work his way into illustration. He's a graphic designer, and I think we had mentioned before on our podcast, like one of the ways you can be successful if you want to apprentice, if you want to work with people that are already working and kind of work your way into the industry, is to basically try to apprentice, try to volunteer some of your time. And so Anthony reached out to me. He saw that I had moved down here to Arizona. He lives probably 20, 30 miles away. And so he said, "Hey, I know you're working on this Pickleball Paul thing. I'm one of your SVS students. Is there any way I could come and help you get the books out that you're shipping for your initial launch of your book?" And I'm like, "Wow, that's pretty cool. Okay, sure." So he came over, helped, didn't want to be paid or anything, just really wanted to kind of meet me and help. So we boxed up books together and put labels on and did everything that needed to be done to get the books ready to go out. And I was just really impressed with him, and got to talking to him on other things. We would talk from time to time, and I found out, like, wow, he's a really good graphic designer, and found out that he's very detail oriented. He's also a good editor. He's a good speller, which matters. And he knows how to use ChatGPT to write and to get good copy, which is really important now in marketing. And so I got going on marketing this game, and I bought a system for marketing it. And I'll reveal that in a future video. But I bought this system, and I was going through it, and I started kind of getting bogged down, and I realized, like, there was a lot more work than I wanted to do or felt like I could do, and I needed an assistant or a partner, someone that could help me do the tasks that I'm not good at. And I think that so far we've made a really good partnership, and so he's definitely a partner on this project, and definitely part of the profit sharing. And so there you go. So this is basically my next Pickleball Paul, for lack of a better description. And it's what I'm going to be pushing, and it's what I'm going to be sharing with you. I will say this, that in the system, like when I launched What They Don't Teach in Art School, I basically brute forced the sales of that book through social media and through my own personal emails. So like on launch day, I had been making videos, to some of you guys would probably remember when I launched that. I made some YouTube videos about it. So you guys that have been following me for a while knew that was coming along. Well, it went over $200,000 raised on the Kickstarter, and then I think it was another 15,000 on Indiegogo post-campaign sales. And then we sold another 1,000 of them on our own through marketing on Facebook ads and stuff. And so that project was definitely a home run. But I didn't do any pre-launch. I didn't do any kind of... I just didn't really I didn't understand how important and how much work there is to be done, and that you can do to make sure that you have basically a 6-figure launch. And that's what the system that I bought, that I'll tell you about. I'll tell you a lot more about in another video. And I'm not getting any kind of kickback from them, so you don't have to worry about that. I just really believe in their system, and we haven't even launched yet. We're not going to launch this game until October. But I am realizing, like, how much money I left on the table by not doing a really strong pre-launch. And so I hope to share that with you. I hope to inspire you guys on your projects and give you guys some ideas on things that you can do as well. And with that, that's all I got for today. So thanks for watching, and I'll keep you updated.